Today we're removing the rear speakers from a Nissan 300ZX. There's two different models. The 90 was different than the 91 through 96. And the 90 had 6.5-inch rounds with a 4-volt pattern, and all the others had a 4-inch 3-volt pattern speaker, which sits under the grill here. We're going to need a Phillips screwdriver and a 10mm socket to remove these enclosures. Usually removing both rear ones at the same time works the best. You have to do all the same work to do one side to get to practically both of them at the same time. So we're going to start with lifting the sun shield up and out of the way and setting this to the side. Next we're going to, sometimes you can pull the carpet up depending on how the straps go through it, and remove the rear carpet as well. Sometimes if it's all strapped down with the straps and so on that are here in the back of the vehicle, you may want to work around the corners. So we're going to start with our 10mm socket, and we're going to remove two 10mm bolts here at the bottom of this first panel along the back edge of the car. They're down along the car here. Actually, they're not bolts, they're just nuts. And two 10mm nuts. We're going to remove the nuts from each side. And then we're going to take the twists here and turn them so that they're pointing between 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock, and that should release the clips here at the back. Well, actually they unscrewed. These clips at the back unscrew. We're going to remove the two plastic clips. This will allow you to push the top of the panel back and then up over the screws at the bottom. We're going to remove this panel and set it to the side. Next we're going to come over to the cover that's behind the headlight, and we're going to grasp the bottom of it and sort of pull up to bow the panel. This will release the bottom tabs and allow you to pull it down to release the top. We're going to remove this panel as well. Today we're taking out both speakers, so I'm going to do the same to the opposite side. We're going to come back to our Phillips screwdriver and remove one exposed screw from this cavity. These two screws, this car has been apart before because we have two different screws here. One's a little silver one and one's a green, khaki green one. Now we're also going to remove one screw from the edge here that was exposed from removing the previous panel. We're going to go back to our 10mm socket and remove one screw down here that was exposed from removing the center panel as well. This process will also help you get access to the power antenna, which we're going to take care of on this car today as well. Today we have a beautiful little hook in the antenna for reception, so we're replacing the mast on that as well. We remove this screw. There is another along the bottom here as well. Actually, there are several here. I'm going to remove this one here next to the bracket for the strap. This is another nut, not a screw. Remove this one, set that one to the side. And then along the edge here, there's another screw that we're going to remove. This is going to release this panel. We're going to pull the top edge away and off of this screw here, and then the panel needs to come up. Be careful that you don't crack the clips off. And this panel will release from the side, coming up a little bit, and a little slap notch that goes in, and one here, one goes down, one goes in. We're going to remove this panel. We're going to move back to our Phillips screwdriver. Remove one screw that holds the lockdown for the visor that goes across. Take this right out of the top. We're also going to remove another 10mm bolt straight down here on this panel. And then we have this black panel that's between the side and here, and we're going to remove the one Phillips screw here at the bottom. This will allow us to lift this panel up and give us a little bit more play along the edge of the two panels here. And this center panel does overlap on the panel here. We're going to take our pry tool and pry this front panel up. This will release. There are two clips on it, and they release when you pry against it. And remove this and set this to the side. Again, the opposite side is a mirror image of what we're doing here. We're going to remove one screw way up here at the very front of the panel. And one more 10mm nut right along the edge of the panel here. This is going to allow us to, now we're going to remove one more screw along the back edge here. This is the dark green screw, and this should release the panel. We're going to wiggle the panel up off of the shafts for the screws coming up that the nuts fit on, and this comes out from underneath the panel as you pull it back. The all releases from the center panel, and we're going to remove this and set it to the side. The complaint on this vehicle was the rear speakers were doing a wild snapping and popping, and I can see this has been apart because someone's already disconnected the rear enclosure. Again, this speaker is unplugged, and we have 4 screws that hold this speaker enclosure in. There are 2 at the top, one here, and one here. Like I mentioned, this was disconnected, and to disconnect it, the connector has a little trigger on the top, and when it's plugged in, you push this trigger down, and it allows you to remove the connector. Remove one screw along the back here, and one at the bottom here. Again, this procedure is exactly the same for the opposite side. This enclosure, and this is how you remove the rear Bose speaker enclosures from a Nissan 300ZX. Hope this video has been helpful. Hope to see your amplifiers in the shop. Give us a call if you have any questions or comments. Let us know. Thank you for watching.